Hey, fourth grade, today we're going to be reading Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, The Chocolate Room. I have prepared and brought as much chocolate as I possibly could. One fun fact is Miss Terry's weakness is she likes chocolate. It's not good. All right, fourth grade, let's begin our chapter. An important room, this, cried Mr. Wonka, taking a bunch of keys from his pockets and slipping one into the keyhole of the door. This is the nerve center of the whole factory, the heart of the whole business, and so beautiful. I insist upon my rooms being beautiful. I can't abide ugliness in factories. In we go, then, but do be careful. My dear children, don't lose your heads. Don't get overexcited. Keep very calm. Mr. Wonka opened the door. 5 children and 9 grown-ups pushed their way in, and oh, what an amazing sight it was now met their eyes. They were looking down upon a lovely valley. There were green meadows on either side of the valley, and along the bottom there of it there flowed a great brown river. What is more, there was a tremendous waterfall halfway along the river, a steep cliff over which the water curled and rolled in a solid sheet, and then went crashing down on a boiling, churning whirlpool of froth and spray. Below the waterfall, and this was the most astonishing sight of all, a whole mass of enormous glass pipes were dangling down into the river from somewhere high up in the ceiling. They really were enormous, those pipes. There must have been a dozen of them at least, and they were sucking up the brownish muddy water from the river and carrying it away to the goodness knows where. And because they were made of glass, you could see the liquid flowing and bubbling along inside them. And above the noise of the waterfall, you could hear the never-ending sucking sound of the pipes as they did their work. Graceful trees and bushes were growing along the river banks, weeping willows and alders and tall clumps of with their pink and red and mauve blossoms. In the meadow, there were thousands of buttercups. There, cried Mr. Wonka, dancing up and down and pointing his gold-topped cane at the great brown river. It's all chocolate. Every drop of that river is hot melted chocolate, and the finest quality, the very finest quality. There's enough chocolate in there to fill every bathtub in the entire country, and all the swimming pools as well. Isn't it terrific? And just look at my pipes. They suck up the chocolate and carry it away to the other rooms in the factory where it is needed. Thousands of gallons of an hour, my dear children, thousands and thousands of gallons. The children and their parents were too flabbergasted to speak. That's a good word, flabbergasted. To speak, they were staggered. They were dumbfounded. They were bewildered and dazzled. Now, fourth grade right here, this is a good example of using context clues. You might not know what flabbergasted is, but they were too flabbergasted to speak, so they probably were too shocked, like just amazed. So these are some good terminologies that they use in these books. That's one reason why I like them. Now, if you look over here, look at Mr. Willy Wonka dancing and pointing his gold top cane at this beautiful waterfall with all this chocolate. Ooh, looks very intriguing. Oh, and look, I just noticed all these. Look at all their little noses looking at him. That's kind of silly. They were completely bowled over by the hugeness of the whole thing. They simply stood and stared. The waterfall is most important, Mr. Wonka went on. It makes the chocolate, it churns it up, it pounds it, and it beats it. It makes it nice and frothy. No other factory in the world mixes its chocolate by waterfall, but it's the only way to do it properly. The only way. And do you like my trees? He cried, pointing with his stick. And my lovely bushes? Don't you think they look pretty? I told you I hated ugliness. And of course they are all edible. Edible, my goodness. All made of something different and delicious. And do you like my meadows? Do you like my grass and my buttercups? The grass you are standing on, my dear little ones, is made of a new kind of soft, minty sugar that I've just invented. I call it Swudge. Try a blade. Please do. It's delectable. Automatically, everybody bent down and picked one blade of grass. Everybody, that is, except Augustus Gloop, who took a big handful. And Violet Beauregarde, before tasting her blade of grass, took the piece of world-breaking chewing gum out of her mouth and stuck it carefully behind her ear. Isn't it wonderful? Whispered Charlie. Hasn't it got a wonderful taste, Grandpa? I could eat the whole field, said Grandpa Joe, grinning with delight. I could go around on all fours like a cow and eat every blade of grass in this field. That would be an interesting, because I could visualize and see Grandpa Joe doing that. That'd be silly, though. Try a buttercup, cried Mr. Wonka. They're even nicer. Suddenly, the air was filled with screams of excitement. The screams came from Erica Salt. She was pointing frantically at the other side of the river. Look, look! Over there, she screamed. What is it? He's moving. He's walking. It's a little person. It's a little man. Down there below the waterfall. Everybody stopped picking buttercups and stared.